Hi guys, welcome back for episode number 17. This is going to be kind of a short episode because I only played 3 games, 3 kind of light to medium weight, actually pretty light games this past week. So yeah, not much gaming got done. I don't know why. I think I was busy this past, I was busy this past weekend. I had some law school friends visiting, and then some people just were not feeling up to playing games on days other than my usual game night. So yeah, so just 3 games to discuss. And then I'm not going to have an episode next Friday because next weekend is my birthday weekend. So I'm going to New York City, but hopefully I will play some games there, which I'll have, I'll be able to talk about the following Friday. So I'm going to visit a friend and just hang out in the city, and this friend is someone I've played a ton of board games with. So yeah, so I think we might go to a board game cafe in New York City, hopefully. So yeah, so I will just get into the 3 light games that I played in this past week. So the first one is The Little Prince. This is designed by Antoine Bauza, who designed, I believe, Takenoko, and Bruno Cathala, and it's published by LOTTT Games for 2 to 5 players. This is just a simple tile laying game, which can be a little bit cutthroat. But I guess all tile laying games can be to a certain extent if you're trying to draft tiles. So you're basically going to make a planet. I'll throw up a picture, but you're going to have like the different sections of the planet, and you will be taking turns drafting those tiles, and the first player will switch each round about who is drafting those tiles. So you have your center tiles, and then you also have these scoring tiles which go in the corner. So you'll have 4 different scoring tiles which you can draft as well. The game recommends that you can, for a more challenging one, draft them and then keep them not visible to your opponents so that they don't know which kind of other tiles you're going for. Because there's different scoring requirements, like this person would clearly want sheep, this person wants to collect sunrises. This person, if they only have 1 baobab tree, they'll get 7 points, but if they have 2, they'll get 14. So there's different kinds of tiles. If you end up with 3 baobab trees on your planet, then you have to flip all 3 of those tiles over and they won't be scored. So getting baobab trees can be bad unless you have the tile which is the drunkard. So he actually will score you points for flipped over tiles. So the way we played it was, we thought it wouldn't make sense if we draft these tiles when they're face up and then turn them upside down, because then everyone would know what you have anyway. So these tiles we actually kept upside down and would draft them upside down. So the first game we played, sometimes we would take turns. So the player who's first gets to decide which tiles will be drafted in that round, and they will select as many tiles as there are number of players, and then they'll put them out for everyone to pick a tile. And so yeah, so I'll pick those up later. So then so with the upside down, with the corner tiles, the scoring tiles, we decided that we would keep them upside down, because if they're face up, then everyone will know what everyone else has. So yeah, so that made for an interesting game. And in the first game, I'm just totally repeating myself. So in the first game, we didn't draft them all in the beginning. So we would draft our corner tiles, and then someone else would decide, okay, we're gonna draft middle, or the planet tiles now. And then I was like, that doesn't make sense, because what tiles you don't know what tiles you should be picking when we haven't drafted all the scoring tiles. So in the second game, we drafted our scoring tiles first, all 4 of them upside down, so they were secret, and then we drafted the rest of the planet tiles. So yeah, so that worked out well. I like this game. I think it's out of print. I actually played it once before as a 2-player game, which I thought was a bit more cutthroat than this way, because as a 2-player game, you pick out 3 tiles, and then I think you pick which one you want, and then, or which 2 tiles your opponent can choose from, or something. There's something a little bit tricky with a 2-player game, I can't remember, that made it a little bit more cutthroat. But yeah, I really wish that this was not out of print, because I think it's a nice little pleasant game. So the next game I'll talk about is Fort, and this is designed by Grant Rodick, published by LOTTT Games for 2 to 4 players. And I'm sure most people know this is a deck building game in which you are children building up your fort. and you have best friends. And you know, the cool thing about this game is, which I think most people know if they've played it, is that, you know, when you play cards, the cards you play go to your discard pile, and then the cards you don't play go to your yard, which then other players can draft after they've taken their turn. So after you've taken your turn, you can draft a new kid from either the park or someone else's yard. So if you have a really good card in hand, you may want to play it so that it doesn't become available for someone else to draft from your yard. But yeah, that's basically it. I mean, you're just, you know, trying to get toys and pizza in order to, you know, advance your fort level, because in order to advance your fort level, you need to pay toys and pizza, and that will help you get more points. Yeah, and there's, you know, other ways to get points too, I believe. I think there were some cards that allow you to get points, if I remember correctly. But yeah, but that's really, and then you have these like perk cards and made up rule cards as well. Yeah, there's cards that allow you to get points, like this one, like Wart. So yeah, so and like I said, you have these perk cards and like that you can get when you reach a certain fort level, which will give you some end of game bonus. And then there are also made up rule cards, which will also give you some kind of in-game or end of game bonus or something like that. So yeah, so I really like Fort, but this time we played it with the cat expansion, which I don't own, but the player who brought the game, the person who brought the game had the cat expansion, so we were able to play with it. And with the cat expansion, depending on what's left in your yard, you'll get to draft a cat, which I thought was pretty cool, and the cat will hang out in your fort until, you know, he's maybe stolen by someone else. And the cats, you know, give you different special abilities. I was able to draft a couple of cats. I was not able to use the ability of one of the cats, which was that if no one follows your action, because when you take an action, the top card is always a portion that other people can follow. So if no one follows your action, you can get like an additional point or something like that. So unfortunately, people did follow my action, so I didn't get to use that. My furnace is coming on. I probably should have turned off my heat before I started shooting, but oh well. So I know it's really loud and annoying. What else? Yeah, so I like the Cats expansion. I thought it was pretty good, and if I get my hands on that expansion, I think I would play with it every time. We did not play with the Dogs expansion, so I don't know what that one does. So yeah, so that's Fort. If you haven't checked out this game yet, I highly recommend it if you like deck building games, which I do. The next game I played is Animal Kingdoms. This is designed by Stephen Aramini, published by Galactic Raptor Games for 1 to 5 players, and it is an area majority game. So you will have a board in the center, which is composed of these, so they like fit together, and they're supposed to be matching in the way they fit together. So yeah, so you're going to have like a round board with this, and the bottom of each section is going to have randomly placed scoring tiles, and you'll get the points for this one in round 1, round 2, then the last round if you are the top person with the most animal meeples in these slots, having the majority. And on each tile, on each section, there's going to be a card which dictates which animals can be placed. So you just basically have a bunch of different animals with different numbers on them. And so there's different like types of animals and different ranks of animals, and the cards you're able to put down are dependent on what like rule is there at that time. So it could be like you need all different beasts, or some of them depend on what the other adjacent kingdoms have. So this one says, or non-adjacent in this case, any other kingdom's beast. So in order to put a card in that section, you would have to look at the most recently placed card in any other section and put that one down below this section. There's one that was, let me see. Yeah, this one is either neighbor's rank. So you would look at the sections next to you and see what is the most recently placed animal's rank there, and that's the kind of rank you could put down below that section. Some of them are more straightforward, like you can only put these animals below there. So yeah, so basically it's played over 3 rounds, and then you just see who has the most animal meeples in a section on those circles, and then they will get the points, and then the second player will get like 3 points in a 2-player game. I only played it as a 2-player game, so I don't know what happens in a game that's more than that. If there's a tie, then you battle it out. You each reveal a card from your hand, and then the higher number will win, unless it's a 1 against an 8, in which case a 1 would win. If you were the person who placed your animal meeple on this capital space, which would be the last space to fill up, then at the end of the age, you would move that meeple up to these council spaces, which cannot then be removed, and those council spaces will, count towards your majority in the next age. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I definitely want to play it at a higher player count to see how it plays with a higher player count. I really liked it. I think it would be more fun at a higher player count. I think it would be more competitive. So yeah, so I thought it was really good. So if you like area majority games that are simple, like this is a pretty simple area majority game, plays quickly, yeah, and it has cool animal artwork. So those were the 3 games I played this week. I am going to be playing some games over the weekend, so I can talk about those in the next video, which will be in December. I'm planning on playing Magnet, the First City, I think it's called. Let me just check. And I think tonight I'm going to be playing Paris, finally, which I picked up at a Ding and Dent sale for only $19, which was awesome. So yeah, I'm going to be playing Magnate, the First City, which has gotten good reviews. So I'm looking forward to playing that on Saturday, hopefully. So yeah, hopefully in the next video I'll have lots of games to talk about, because I'll have this weekend's games, then I'll have next week's game night, and then I'll have my birthday weekend games. So yeah, and then the following week's games as well, because yeah, so there will be a lot of games to talk about next time. So let's go on to games that I am backing. So still with Honey Buzz and Weather Machine, has not changed, nothing else. I'm not going to mention City of the Great Machine, because by the time you guys are watching this, the campaign for that will be over. So yeah, so just Honey Buzz, Fall Flavors, and Weather Machine. Still kind of like a bit disappointed with the price point on Honey Buzz, but oh well. Yeah. Games I'm calling, nothing new added to that, so we can go to questions, and there were only 2 questions. So like I said, super short video. Okay, so the first question was, have I thought about painting minis? No, because I feel I'm a perfectionist, and if I started painting minis, I would want them to be absolutely perfect. If I messed up even a tiny bit, it would drive me insane. So yeah, so definitely can't paint minis. I don't think I have the time for it. I don't have the patience for it. Yeah, I just don't foresee myself ever doing that. And like I said, if I messed up, it would just really, really bother me. I think it would be cool to maybe take a class one day to learn. But then, I've seen people who paint minis, and it takes them forever to finish the minis for one game, basically. And I don't know, that would bother me too. Like, let's suppose I wanted to start playing a game and only one mini was painted and the rest were not. Just the fact that they're not all matching would seriously annoy me. Yeah, so no, I don't ever foresee myself painting them. If I could outsource my mini painting to someone else, I would love to do that. If I can hire someone to paint some minis for some games, that would be really cool. If it's, not super, super duper pricey, but of course it would be pricey because, it takes a lot of time and it's very detailed, for good quality minis. The next question was, why? So this was on an older video that someone just posted recently on my playback episode number 9 video, in which I discussed Brew from Pandasaurus Games, and I guess I just casually mentioned that I'm blacklisted by them. So someone asked why I'm blacklisted by Pandasaurus. So firstly, I will say, it's not like they messaged me and said, you're blacklisted, we're not going to send you any games, but of course there's things that make it very obvious I'm blacklisted. Going back to when I was first becoming a content creator, Pandasaurus and I had a very good relationship. I even did a live playthrough on TTS of Dinosaur World with Danny Lowe, who is the community manager, marketing manager for Pandasaurus, and Ella of Ella Loves Board Games, both of who have blocked me on Twitter. So after January, when that Bebo person started attacking me for taking off my mask at Universal Studios to take a picture, Danny Lowe blocked me on Twitter. So so she's the marketing manager, and usually when someone even blocks you from their personal account, you can basically rest assured that they will not want to give you games. So the owners of the publishing company may have no idea what's going on. Who really knows? I've not reached out to them, but basically a few months after she had blocked me out, I had reached out to her, on her professional email address to request a review copy of Brew, and I was told that there are none available and that down the line I would get sent one when they become available again. They became available again and I was never sent one, surprise, surprise. And even though I helped promote Dinosaur World, I was not sent a copy of that. I took time out of my night to play that game on TTS and promoted it on Instagram, Twitter, and all my social media. But of course, I was not sent a review copy of that because, I'm blacklisted. So there's a number of publishing companies whose community managers and marketing managers all have me blocked on Twitter for absurd reasons. I think, maybe this person asked this question because maybe they only just started following me or don't follow me on Twitter and are unaware of everything that's happened. So, for the people who do know, you can just skip over all of this, but I thought maybe I should just give a quick overview of what's going on for people who are a bit confused why I seem to be a controversial figure. So I think it really starts with me having been a part of Tabletop Backer Party, which was this diversity first website company run by this person called Daniel Zayas, who is of Latino origin. And Bibo was a member of that, and Omari Akil and some other people. So I was a member of Tabletop Backer Party, and I did not like the way Daniel used to treat me. He was very aggressive behind the scenes. He would pressure me into trying to get Tabletop Backer Party as many bookings as possible. It was basically me who was driving bookings, so I would have access because at that point in time I was like a moderator or whatever added to the Tabletop Backer Party Facebook page. So I would see the messages that get sent to that account. And I recall seeing messages where people would message him asking him how to book me. And he would be like strong arming them into booking everyone, getting all these packages when they only wanted to book me. And then at that point in time, I had a rate listed on my own website for what I would be charging for overviews. And he would even try to deter people from booking with me directly so that he could get because he would keep a big chunk of my profits. So he he was charging $150 for 1 minute overview videos on his website, and he would keep $50 from every video I did because he claimed he needed that to, support his website and all his business expenses, which is utter bullshit because $50 for each video amounts to for the number of videos that I did while I was at Tabletop Backer Party, amounts to way more than the upkeep or the cost of a domain name and website. And I know this because I have my own website, so I know that that's ridiculous, but okay, whatever. So he kept a large chunk, and he would pressure people into booking all the shows like in a package so that they could all get money and stuff too. And I didn't like that. And he kept on pressuring me outside of, on private messages and stuff, to bring in more bookings. It's not my obligation to bring in more bookings for your website. If people want to book me through Tabletop Backer Party, fine. But if they want to book me through my own website, then that's fine too, because a lot of people didn't want to book those other shows. It was some art show, and Bibo had some show, I don't know even what it was. So yeah, so that was really annoying, and he would talk to me in a very unprofessional manner. He would give me a hard time. I am on top of emails, and I would respond to the people who would book me, and he'd always try to babysit me. Did you respond to so-and-so? Did you do this? Did you do that? And it's yes, I did all of that. I'm an attorney. I know how to manage my tasks. I know what I need to do. So I was just really fed up with his condescending attitude and his pressuring me to try to bring in as many backers as possible, content creation as possible. So finally I told him I was leaving Tabletop Backer Party. And so he was really pissed, and I told him I would So I told him in October that November would be my last month with Tabletop Backer Party and that I would complete November's contracts, but he did not let me do November's contracts, the people who wanted to book me. And one of those people was Chip Theory Games. They had, booked a package with Tabletop Backer Party. So I had actually reached out to the person who ran Chip Theory Games, who actually told me that I was the only draw to Tabletop Backer Party. I have a private message where I could actually, supply that and show people that they said that to me. So I knew that I was the main driving force of activity to that site. And after I left, a few months later, Daniel Zayas had posted in some board game reviewers and media group that they're not getting any bookings. They haven't gotten bookings for months. Well, surprise. And he was just basically saying we're the diversity first group, and blah, blah, blah. And then later on, he posted another post where he was trying to recruit more diverse creators. And he even said in that post that content creators who are a part of Tabletop Backer Party keep 100% of their profits. I don't know if he changed his policy or if I was the only one whose money he was keeping. I don't know. But what I do know is that I find him to be a bully and very dishonest, and I had no desire to keep on working with him. And I think, the way he's ran his campaigns for the few games that he's managed has shown that as well. So yeah, so I left Tabletop Backer Party, and I'm pretty sure that Bebo's beef against me was for that reason as well. So in January, she finally found a reason to attack me. I went to Universal Studios because I was helping my little sister move there for medical school. I went to Universal Studios for a day since I spent all this money to go to Florida anyway. I went with another content creator, Jesse from Quackalope, who I was friends with at that time. And lo and behold, I'm the only one who's getting attacked and being called a TERF left and right for being at Universal Studios. So there was that. And then that's when a lot of people started unfollowing me and posting shit at me on Twitter and here and there. So that happened. And I was bullied basically nonstop and harassed nonstop for 2 months. Coincidentally, the day I went to Universal happened to be the day where there was the coup on the Capitol in America, as though I knew that was going to happen. And, another huge, I would say semi-huge content creator basically started tweeting at me about how tone deaf it is for me to be posting about my trip when there's a coup happening, as though I could predict that there was going to be a coup on the Capitol that day. These people just have no logical reasoning skills whatsoever. They're just completely illogical, irrational. It just makes no sense. I could not have known there would be a coup on that day. Okay, whatever. So people were pissed about that. So they were pissed that I went to Universal Studios, took off my mask more than 20 feet away from any other humans to take a picture. So a lot of people unfollowed me and blocked me at that time, including Danny Lowe from Pandasaurus Games. Let's fast forward a little bit to, I think it is May and June. Yeah, so the next, I think it was May or June. That's when, or maybe it was a few months prior, I can't remember. So the game, so there's in the Hall of the Mountain King, and then the game Fall of the Mountain King was coming out on Kickstarter, and I had a good relationship at that time with Burnt Island Games and Kids Table Board Gaming, which is owned by Helena Kappel. And so I had reached out to them about, covering Fall of the Mountain King. And they had told me that I would be able to cover it, but then I was never sent a review copy. Let's get one thing straight. I do not feel I am owed a copy. I've never felt that I'm owed anything. So I reached out to her to ask about it, and she, sent me a message which did not sit right with me, requesting a video chat. So I agreed, and I recorded the entire video chat. And in this video chat, she basically was gaslighting me the entire time. So I had been very vocal about Palestinian rights. Palestine was under, they're always under attack. Let's get one thing straight. Their lives are always miserable. They always, have these ongoing issues, but there are times where, things escalate and things get much worse. And this was a period of time where things had gotten much worse. And I was very vocal about Palestinian rights. And I was very vocal about the fact that all these people who say Black Lives Matter were not saying anything about the Palestine issue. People like Eric Lang were making statements that it's too complex and they're not going to say anything, when they're very vocal about Black Lives Matter and are so vocal that, all these companies, board gaming publishers, issued Black Lives Matter statements, but they were not issuing anything about Palestinian Lives Matter. So I called Eric Lang out on his statement, which I thought was bullshit, about how it's too complex of an issue, because anyone can say that about any issue. You can say that about Black Lives Matter. It's not too complex of an issue. It's that you're just not taking the time to learn about it and open your mind. So then he retracted his statements. And by the way, I was completely respectful when I called him out for this. And he tried making ad hominem attacks on me. In fact, he started making really like stupid statements like, oh, like, do you care about the Muslims who are being slaughtered in, you know, here and there? And I was like, yeah, actually I do. I don't think he realizes that I'm actually Muslim myself, or maybe he did not at that time. And, you know, and then there's people like Stephanie Straw who were saying, oh, she's only using Palestine for sympathy. And apparently people like her don't know that I actually have, you know, ties to the region, that I did my master's degree in Middle Eastern studies. I've studied the Palestinian-Israeli conflict in graduate school at a graduate school level. So yeah, these, you know, just ridiculous statements trying to just basically undermine me and anything I say. So yeah, so I called out Eric Lang and he amended his statements, which I thanked him for. You know, he then did say Palestinian Lives Matter, and I think Helena Kappel had an issue with that. So, because when Eric Lang first stated it's too complex of an issue, which is exactly what the Zionists want you to believe, that it's too complex so that you don't actually learn about what is happening to the Palestinians there, so that you end up sympathizing with the Zionists. And let's keep, you know, Jewish people and Zionists separate. So not all Jewish people are Zionists and not all Zionists are Jewish people. So there is no anti-Semitism here. It's basically about the policies that Israel has and how it is basically making all these other people, you know, I would say not even second-class citizens, like they have like basically no rights. So she was happy when Eric Lang first said it was a very complex issue. And then when he amended his statements, that she was nowhere to be seen in the comments. She didn't like his post when he amended his statement. So when we had a video chat, she was basically just gaslighting me the entire time. You know, she was saying that, you know, she doesn't like the way I yelled at people about the Palestinian lives issue, and I said, I've never yelled at anyone, you know, please show me where I yelled at anyone, because I didn't. I was very respectful when I called people out about not saying anything about it. Then she was basically saying that, you know, she got really, you know, angry at one point because I said, you know, tell me what the difference is between Palestinian Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter, because she kept on insisting that she likes to keep politics out of business, that she keeps them separate, yet on her own business website it says Black Lives Matter, and they sponsor Our Family Plays Games, who have also since then blocked me everywhere and like all the shitty tweets made about me on Twitter and everywhere else, but whatever. So yeah, so she sponsors Our Family Plays Games, which I thought at the, you know, is a great thing. You should support diversity, but you should support all diversity, which clearly she's not about. So yeah, so we basically had a conversation, which I recorded, and it was not pleasant. I mean, it's around for you guys to listen to. I think someone even uploaded it on YouTube if you want to listen to the entire conversation. And yeah, I was completely gaslit by her. And the same people who would typically be outraged about a minority female being gaslit by someone in the industry all of a sudden are calling me the dangerous one. So this is what I say, you know, why I say all the time there are serious double standards and hypocrisy in this industry. Because if it were a white woman who was treated this way by a publisher, everyone would have come to her defense. But because it's me, the Muslim woman who is very outspoken and doesn't want to take shit from anyone, I was labeled as dangerous. People like Tiffany Cares said I have mental health issues and I should just basically be ignored. So that's what happened back then, and I think that was in May or June, I can't remember. So fine, whatever. So at this point a lot more people decided to unfollow me and block me. And then fast forward a little bit more when Tiffany Cares is running for a position on the Gamma board, and I, you know, was very outspoken about how this person should not be elected because they had made a whole thread about how I have mental health issues to detract from my claims of discrimination by Burnt Island Games. You know, even people like that one guy from Shut Up, Sit Down, I don't remember his name now, he at first was very supportive of me in Palestine, but even he did a complete 180 and then started saying I'm dangerous. And, you know, saying someone is dangerous and difficult is just a way to shut them down completely and ignore the actual substance of what they are saying. If you look at the substance of what I'm saying, and if you came into this as an outsider, you would see how unfairly I have been treated. And again, if it were a white person in my place, they would have gotten a shit ton of sympathy. Just like more recently, you know, someone made a post about how they were treated badly by that one loan shark guy, the owner of Loan Shark. I don't remember the person's name who, released this statement. And from what I can remember, there's like no sexual abuse. It was just like a lot of, like just bad behavior from a boss, like just being with a really difficult boss, right? So again, that's someone in the industry acting badly, and everyone's, making an uproar about it. But when I was treated badly by Helena Keppel and, gaslit left and right, which you can hear on the audio, no one cares. So, I mean, and then I see things, people post things like Eric Lang posted in a comment of his on Facebook in response to something, how, only trans people can call someone else, like, can say what is transphobia, or who is a TERF. Like, it's up to them because they are trans. People like to call me a TERF because I went to Wizarding World, but at the same time, like, when I claim Islamophobia, no, you're wrong. There's no Islamophobia. So it's okay to believe that someone is transphobic if a trans person says it, because clearly they're right. But when a Muslim person says that someone is being Islamophobic, no, that there's no such thing as Islamophobia. Let me just say, being a Muslim woman in this industry really, really sucks, because there are a couple of Muslim content creators, very few, but there are a couple from what I've seen who I would say are misogynistic. So not only do I get to deal with the Islamophobia from everyone else, I get to deal with the misogyny from the Muslim content creators. Because, like, really, so even before all of this crap started, like, these Muslim male content creators, one of them was posting shit about me, about how my content sucks. Okay, great, maybe you do think it sucks, but there was no reason to really post about it like that. And then the other Muslim content creator who I had tried reaching out to on Twitter even before all of this happened last January just completely ignored me. I tried tweeting at him several times. I followed him. He just wanted to have nothing to do with me. Yet he will always happily respond to other women on Twitter and engage with them, but he absolutely refused to engage with me even before I became a controversial figure. And if I can say this because I'm Muslim, there is a lot of misogyny in our culture and religion, and the way Muslim women are treated, it's basically a man can do whatever he wants. If a Muslim woman does the same thing, it's like, how dare she? Like, certain things are frowned upon, right? So a Muslim woman putting herself on camera for everyone to see, there are Muslim men who would think that's very wrong. And so maybe he feels that way. Maybe that's why he doesn't respond to me, even though he himself is a content creator and puts himself on camera and whatever. I don't know. So being a Muslim woman in this industry really sucks. And then it sucks even more when you are a minority within Islam. So I am Shia Muslim. I'm the kind of Muslim that you find in Iran, Lebanon, Iraq, and then to a lesser extent, Pakistan, Bahrain, and a few other places, India. So we are the minority sect of Islam. So again, the major countries where we are found are Iran and Iraq. And so there are a lot of Muslims who believe that we are infidels and we are killed by terrorists as well. So we are victims of terrorism. So the Taliban killed my uncle many years ago, back in 2007, I think it was. I can't remember the exact year. I think it was 2007. Because he would not convert. So he would not convert from Shia Islam to Sunni Islam. So they killed him. So more Shia Muslims are killed by Muslim terrorists, terrorists who claim to be Muslim, I would rather say, than non-Muslims are. So I have that to deal with too. So sometimes I wonder if these Muslim content creators, these male Muslim content creators who also want to have nothing to do with me, whether they're just anti-Shia. I don't know if they're just misogynistic or anti-Shia, but I get no support from them. So I know I can't count on them for support. So, there's times where I've just felt so incredibly alone, because there really is no one else like me in this industry. There's no other Shia female Muslim content creator and who has to deal with the Islamophobia and then the misogyny and all of this other bullshit in this industry. The double standards, there are so many double standards. I take screenshots of everything and just keep it for my own records, and the amount of double standards in this industry is ridiculous. The things that people will say to me, and then on the flip side, defend their own people, like, how dare someone call this drama? But when they refer to me, it's always like, oh, she's creating drama. But when another female You know, if someone else said to another female, oh, why are you making drama? It would be like, how dare you say that? Like when she speaks up for herself and her rights, it's not drama. But when I do, somehow it's always creating drama. I mean, there's just so many double standards. It's really, really ridiculous. Yeah, so I think I've gone over everything from the beginning. And basically, you know, everything is out there, and I've been saving screenshots of my bullies and harassers because, you know, I had put them on notice a long time ago that they would get slapped with lawsuits. So I've been collecting evidence, and I have separate folders for everyone. I have screenshots, I've been saving them, and to this day, there are still people who post crap about me, and I check their Twitter accounts, you know, on a semi-regular basis and take screenshots. There's this one person in particular who seems to be utterly obsessed with me and, you know, will check my Twitter on a frequent, regular basis to find anything to shitpost about. It's just absolutely ridiculous. The same person had posted tweets of me a long time ago without blocking out my name, which is seen as a big no-no if I do it. So if I, you know, post a screenshot of someone and don't block out their name, I'm endangering them. But when they do it, it's perfectly fine. So this person had posted, you know, screenshots of my tweets a long time ago without blocking out my name, and then people would just pile on, oh yeah, like look at her, she needs help, she's this, she's that, blah, 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 whatever. So whenever they or their buddies do it, it's fine. But if I do it, it's dangerous. Again, double standards, because, you know, they can't do any wrong. So these people, I really believe, have a hero complex. They think that they are like the saviors of the board gaming world and are going to make everything for the better. And they also seem to have some kind of a god complex. I would say just because you are like a successful board game designer or content creator does not mean you know everything about everything. Like, yeah, it's just ridiculous. So there is that. So I think I covered everything. I think that's it. If I'm forgetting anything, you can ask about it or remind me. Oh yeah, so during the Gamma elections, let me go back to that for a bit. So when I spoke out against Tiffany Cares about running for the Gamma elections, Tiffany had said that they would be willing to sit down in a mediation with me. And I said sure, and then they backed out of the mediation because I had threatened litigation, and you know, they're like, if you're going to not go in this with an open mind, then why should we even bother? Litigation has always been on the table. I've put these people on notice a long time ago that I would file lawsuits for defamation because the amount of defamation that these people have posted of me on Twitter is insane. So that was always on the table. And as a lawyer, like, I know that this is absolutely bullshit. Oh yeah, we're not going to go into a mediation now because, you know, you're threatening a lawsuit anyway. You're not going to go in with an open mind. Like, no. So again, more bullshit from them. And then I did a review of that game Tournament Fishing by TGG Games, and someone tweeted at me, what do you think of this? It was a picture of the frog. And at that time, I had no idea what this frog symbol even was. So I tweeted back and I was like, yeah, what about it? And they're like, it's a racist symbol. I had never seen that symbol before in my entire life. So the fact that, you know, it was a racist symbol and I covered this game, no idea. So then, you know, I did, you know, someone posted a link, I think, to a Wikipedia article about it. So I read that, and then I was like, okay, you know, it seems like it's still an okay symbol, but yes, it can be used as a racist symbol in certain contexts. So then there was that whole TGG Games thing, and then they started, you know, going after TGG Games about the frog issue. And certain people were upset that I didn't take down my video. I didn't take down my video because I do sincerely believe that it was not intended to be racist or hateful. I think it was truly an accident. And I know Jeff, Jeff has defended me when I have been the victim of Islamophobia. He's been there for me when other people have not. So I truly believe his heart was in the right place. I do believe he could have reacted to things better. You know, I think everyone can be in agreement about that the way he handles the situation isn't the best, but I do not believe it was intended to be hateful or racist. So I left my video up. And that's all I had to say about that. But yeah, and then at that same point in time, it seemed like people were convinced that, or not convinced, people decided to start posting a bunch of crap about me on Twitter at the same time. So I had actually gone to court that day, and I got back from court. It was like, I think it was like 7 p.m. and I go onto Twitter and I'm like, holy crap, like all these people made threads about me, about how they had reached out to me and I didn't respond. So one of the things that these people say, these bullies say, is that before putting someone on blast on Twitter for anything, they always reach out to them personally. Not true. So then you had people like Crystal Dax and Suzanne and even Isaac Childress and Sun Fung Lim chiming in and posting, screenshots of messages they sent to me. So I want to go over each and every one of those instances and explain why this is all bullshit again. So Crystal Dax had posted, I think Dax is her last name, I don't know, she does the podcast, I think, with Suzanne. I don't know. I've actually never listened to it, but I think they do a podcast together. So she had posted some crap about me, screenshots back in January, had never messaged me prior to this, and then apparently she messaged me afterwards because her screenshot showed a message that she sent to me afterwards, and if you look at it, the check mark is not checked because I never read it. At that point, I had already unfollowed her when I saw she posted crap about me. So no, you did not send me messages before posting shit about me. Suzanne, same thing. Suzanne posted a thread on Twitter about how I am associated with someone who is apparently harassing her and her family, someone named Chris. Don't know who the hell this Chris person is, but did she reach out to me personally? No, she did not. Instead, she posted a bunch of shit on Twitter with my name. I had already blocked her out at that point. I had people messaging me saying that Suzanne has posted this. You might want to take a look. I responded on my own Twitter account and told her to just leave me the fuck alone. And that was that. I had no idea who this Chris person was and what she was going on about. And to me, it seemed like she was just creating drama. And that really is just creating drama, in my opinion. So I blocked her out. I had already blocked her out, but I just responded on my own Twitter. And then she emails me like a week or two after that, the day I'm supposed to appear on the Dice Tower, which, since she's a part of the Dice Tower network, I'm pretty sure she knew I was going to appear on the Dice Tower. And she messages me like an hour or something before I'm about to appear to say, hey, Sarah, I think we should talk about this, blah, 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 blah. She posted her email. So again, she did not message me before posting shit about me. And she subtweeted so much shit about me on Twitter before ever emailing me. And then after emailing me, she continued to subtweet crap. And then there's Sun Fung Lim, who at that point in time, I did not consider to be a bully or a harasser of mine or anything like that at that point in time when he sent me a message. So he posted a screenshot of some message he sent to me, which I didn't even remember. Like, I was being bombarded with messages at that point in time. So yeah, it looks like I had read his message, but I never responded and I never even remembered it. So that's that. I can't really say much more about that. I had no recollection of him messaging me, and it probably got buried in the tons of messages I was getting from other people. Because at that time when I was getting attacked, I was getting so many messages from other people in the board game industry supporting me privately, not publicly, because they're afraid of these bullies. People who had also been bullied out of this industry, thanking me for standing up for myself. So I was getting a shit ton of messages. So his message got buried. Another person who decided to post a screenshot of a message they sent to me was Isaac Childress, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous because I actually responded to his messages and he was not a bully or a harasser of mine. So when I say that people did not message me, I'm talking about the people specifically who bullied and harassed me, because these people like to claim that they always reach out to someone before putting them on blast on Twitter. Not true. Isaac was not bullying and harassing me, so I don't even know why he decided to jump into this, but he posted a screenshot of a message he sent to me, so in return, I posted all the screenshots of my replies to him, in which he basically stated that yes, people like Bully thrive on being outraged. You know, that's what they do. They just want to be outraged about stuff, and that's what, fuels them. So I don't know, maybe that's why Bebo decided to leave the board gaming industry recently. I don't know, who knows. So there's that. So all these people who clearly have an agenda to try to make me appear like the crazy one, the liar, whatever. People can look at timestamps. They can look at the timing of everything. This other person, Stephanie Straw, keeps on going around. She kept on going around in June or so claiming that I, called her Islamophobic for unfollowing me back in January. I had no idea who the hell this person was until the whole Helena Capel thing happened. I'd never interacted with her before. No idea who she even was, yet she's going around everywhere claiming that I called her Islamophobic. Nope, didn't even know who she was. So again, these timelines that these people have made up in their heads make no sense. Stephanie is someone who started posting shit about me everywhere when the Helena Capel thing happened. Before that, didn't even know who she was. So yeah, so that is that. So now I think I've covered everything. For people who are new to my channel, you've been brought up to speed on everything. And again, I am an open book. If you want to ask me any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm very open. I've been treated unfairly. I continue to be treated unfairly in this industry. I've become like the industry pariah or whatever, but there are some people who do support me, and there are people who are nice to me and understand that I am being treated unfairly. But I will never stop defending myself. I will never, if anyone ever posts shit about me, I will defend myself because, I have every right to. I have stopped responding to just complete crap though, like that Tiffany Lay person who was always subtweeting crap about me. I don't bother responding to those. But if anything big were to happen again where, people are posting lies about me, I will respond. Speaking of which, I will respond to one lie. So when January happened and people started unfollowing me, one of the lies Bebo posted was that I was messaging everyone who was unfollowing me to yell at them. Nope, I didn't message a single person. I messaged one person who was my friend for many months, who I supported and listened to anytime he needed to talk. I played games with him over video chat. I sent him a game, a board game in postmail, and after he just blocked me out everywhere without even talking to me, I sent him a message asking him to reimburse me for the cost of shipping, and that's it. And then I called him a coward for basically blocking me out. So that's the only screenshot they have that is, proof of me yelling at everyone. But if you read the message to this person, his name is James Goff. He goes by like Pizza Meeple or something like that. I didn't yell at him. You can go scroll down on his Twitter feed and find that message that I sent to him. No yelling, just me being pissed and calling him a coward and just asking him for my money. And that's it. So yeah. So, okay, now I think I've really covered everything. So I'm going to go on to a better topic and end this video on a happy note, hopefully. So people who follow me on Twitter will know that, okay, so I don't think I'll be giving away any spoilers. I watched The Mandalorian. I went to Disney World like earlier in October for Halloween, and then it was November 1st, I think, that I was at Disney World, and I went on all those Star Wars rides at Hollywood Studios. I got to do the Rise of the Resistance ride twice, which I absolutely loved. But yeah, I kept on seeing these really cute baby Yoda ears that people were wearing, and I so desperately wanted some baby Yoda ears. At that point in time, I had never seen The Mandalorian. So I walked into the store and I saw that those baby Yoda ears are very expensive, so I didn't buy them. They were like $30 some. I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $30 some for baby Yoda ears. So anyway, so I came back and I watched The Mandalorian, and I finished it, God, a couple of days ago, I think. I can't remember how many days ago I finished it. I absolutely love it. I've fallen in love head over heels for Grogu. I think he is just like the cutest thing on the planet. Every time he's on screen, I just want to protect him so badly. And anytime The Mandalorian did something which I felt like endangered Grogu's life, I would just get so upset about it. Like, how could you just leave him there while you're going to fight? Or how could you take him into this dangerous place? Like, what are you doing? So I won't spoil it, but in the end, it was just a very bittersweet ending, and I was just so sad. I was so sad that, well, I guess I shouldn't say why I was so sad, because that would be a spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen it. But I'm super obsessed with Baby Yoda. Grogu, because now I know his real name. Isn't he just the cutest little thing ever? He's so freaking cute. Look at him with his cookie. I just love him so much. I love him. I really, really love him. So yeah, so here's my lanyard that I will be wearing at PAX Unplugged. So right now I have them pinned so that these two layers can't move, and I would just put this part over my head so that this part is not movable. I don't know if that's a smart idea. It might be a little bit hard to get on and off, but we'll see. So right now I have my Board Games in a Minute pin. So if you are at PAX Unplugged and you see someone with this or with this Grogu backpack, you will know it's me. So yeah, I bought a Grogu backpack to wear to PAX Unplugged. I don't know where else I could wear it. I'm not gonna go to Disney's Hollywood Studios again anytime soon. I wish I had watched The Mandalorian before then, because I totally would have had this Grogu backpack with me, and I would have probably had Grogu ears. Yeah, but oh well. So yeah, so this is my lanyard that I'm wearing to PAX Unplugged. It's got an elephant, my own pin, of course, which a couple people have asked me. I just noticed, like the other day, by the way, that my listings for selling these pins and stickers and magnets are gone from Etsy. I guess my listings expired and I didn't even realize, and now you can't even buy them on Etsy, so I should probably redo the listings. But I will have a bunch of pins with me at PAX Unplugged. It might go against their rules supposed to sell something on site. So, you know, the exchange would probably have to happen outside of the building. I'll have to check their terms of service or terms and conditions, whatever. So yeah, so these are the pins, my pins. This is my elephant pin because, you know, I love elephants. This is a Take Me Back to Hogwarts pin. It's the you know, the train, the Hogwarts Express. This is an ice cream, like galactic ice cream pin, because anyone who knows me knows I'm obsessed with ice cream and that I love outer space. And yeah, I really love astronomy. And then this is my little Grogu pin. He's drinking a bubble tea. I wish I could get it to focus. Yeah, so yeah, so that is my lanyard that I will be wearing at PAX Unplugged. So if you see me and you want to say hi, please feel free to come up and say hi to me. I will have, it hasn't arrived yet. I ordered it from Etsy. I ordered a hand crocheted Grogu plush, so I intend on keeping him with me at all times while I'm at PAX. So if I'm playing a game, he'll be sitting on the table, so that's another way you can find me, because the backpack will probably be on the floor, so you might not see it then. So if you see, you know, someone sitting who looks like me, I mean, I'll be wearing a mask, but you know, who has a Grogu plush on the table, you'll know it's me. So, you know, if you see me anywhere, feel free to say hi. I love meeting people. I love, you know, talking to people, and I hope, again, to play games with people who I don't get to play games with, you know, quite often. So, you know, so yeah, so come say hi to me. I will probably, originally I was planning on arriving Friday morning, but I've changed my reservation. So now I will be getting into Philadelphia on Thursday. So if you're watching this and, you know, I really don't think I have any other content creator friends who are going to PAX Unplugged, well, except for How It Plays, formerly known as AntLab Games. But yeah, if you are a content creator who I know and is friendly with me and is going to PAX Unplugged, it would be awesome to meet up with you. I'm planning on going to the Mixer on Thursday night, which is for like industry people, for like content creators, so media, publishing, designers, I think. So I'm planning on going to that. So if you are a friendly face, please say hi there too. Yeah, so I think that's it. So yeah, so until next time, which will be December 3rd, I think. Or you know what, actually I might have to post a video on Sunday of that weekend, because I don't think I would have time to record on a Friday, that Friday, due to some big work stuff happening that day. Because typically I use like my lunch break to record now because of daylight problems. So yeah, so I will probably record a video on December 4th, Saturday, and post it later that day, Saturday or Sunday, just a heads up. So yeah, so I will have a lot of games to talk about then, like a lot. So yeah, so until next time guys, bye.